Chosen one, pause right here. You are not watching this by accident. Heaven aligned this moment with precision because your spirit has reached the threshold of a supernatural shift. You are standing at the edge of a divine wealth transfer, a breakthrough so profound that even the warfare around you sensed its arrival. The Anointed One does not stumble into revelation. You are summoned into it. For it is written, "Be still and know that I am God." In this stillness, heaven is preparing to release what has been held for you. Open your spirit. This is a sacred appointment, and it begins now. Chosen one, I need you to breathe for a moment. Still your spirit. Quiet the noise around you. Because what is about to be spoken into your life is not ordinary instruction. It is not motivational fluff. It is not inspiration for the sake of inspiration. This is revelation. This is impartation. This is a supernatural transfer being placed directly into your hands by the Spirit of God. And the instruction that carries this transfer may feel strange to your flesh, but it is perfectly aligned with heaven's timing. God is calling you into a silence that carries power, strategy, and divine protection. Chosen one. Many people misunderstand silence. They see it as a void. They see it as passivity. They see it as surrender. But what heaven is teaching you now is that silence is not the absence of power. It is the container that holds it. Silence is the womb where destiny develops. Silence is where God hides the blueprint of your next season so that no enemy can intercept it. And if heaven is calling you to silence, it is because something so sacred, so weighty, so valuable is being formed within you that it cannot be exposed to casual conversation or reckless reaction. You may not realize it, but you are currently standing in a divine intersection, the kind of moment where spiritual timelines collide and destiny begins to activate without announcement. Even as you listen, there is a stirring in your spirit, a kind of holy pressure, the unmistakable feeling that something is changing, shifting, being recalibrated inside you. This is not imagination. This is not emotion. This is alignment. Heaven is aligning your spirit with the very instruction that will unlock your next promotion. Chosen one. I want to tell you something I learned the hard way. Sometimes the greatest breakthroughs of my life were not born out of what I said, but what I refused to say. I remember moments when everything in me wanted to react, to explain myself, to justify my decisions, to make others see the truth. But every time I reacted out of emotion, I delayed the very blessing I was praying for. And every time I stayed silent, when my flesh demanded to speak, heaven shifted something in my favor that my words could never accomplish. Silence became my teacher. Silence became my shelter. Silence became my strategy. And now, God is inviting you into that same supernatural discipline because you, chosen one, are on the verge of receiving something that cannot be mismanaged with human reaction. You are standing at the edge of financial elevation, spiritual authority, and divine visibility. But for this next level, God must first secure your mouth, not to restrict you, but to preserve you. You've been asking God, why are you so quiet in this season? Why does it feel like everything is pulling away? Why can't I speak up and defend myself? And heaven responds with a gentle, authoritative whisper, because I am working in silence and I need you to match my pace. Chosen one, hear me with your spirit, not your ears. This silence is not abandonment. It is preparation. It is insulation. It is God wrapping you in a kind of holy secrecy, because the next blessing He is about to release in your life is so explosive that any premature exposure could sabotage the timing. A seed is safest underground. A miracle is safest unannounced. A chosen one is safest when silent, and yet silence is not easy. I know that. You know that. There are days when the pressure to respond feels unbearable, when accusations sting, when your name is twisted, when people question motives they don't even understand, when someone tries to provoke you into becoming the very version of yourself you already outgrew. The old you wants to fight, the healed you wants peace, the chosen you wants obedience. You feel the tension because heaven is rewiring your reflexes. Silence is no longer weakness, it is spiritual discipline. It is your strategy for the warfare you are walking through. It is the sign that heaven trusts you with more. Chosen one. There is a financial breakthrough attached to your obedience in this season. There is a supernatural transfer of resources, ideas, opportunities, and open doors that will come not because you spoke, but because you held your tongue. The blessing that's coming wasn't designed to be unlocked by your voice. It was designed to be unlocked by your restraint. God is teaching you to manage silence because He is preparing to trust you with increase. Sometimes silence is not what God withholds from you. It is what He protects in you. And you can feel it, the shift, the pressure, the holy stirring. You can sense heaven drawing near, preparing something extraordinary behind the scenes of your life. Your spirit recognizes that this silence is not empty. It is full of strategy, full of protection, full of divine orchestration. Chosen one, lean in, stay close. Because what God is about to reveal about this silent season will change the way you see your destiny forever. Chosen one, as you move deeper into this season, I need you to truly see the silent work of God unfolding around you. Silence is rarely comfortable, yet it is one of the most powerful tools heaven uses to reshape, reorder, and realign the destiny of those who have been chosen for exceptional purpose. When God calls a person into silence, it is never accidental. It marks a shift, a spiritual transition, a divine restructuring that begins long before the physical evidence shows up. You are walking in that shift now, even if you don't fully recognize it yet. For many, silence feels like absence. But for the chosen, silence is presence, a higher, deeper, more intentional presence. God is not withdrawing from you. He is drawing you closer to His voice by removing every competing frequency. The silence you're experiencing is protection, not punishment. It is insulation, not isolation. When heaven begins rearranging the future of someone marked, the first thing God quiets is not the world around them, but the impulses within them. Your silence. Chosen one is the evidence that you are being prepared for something you cannot yet carry with words. You have noticed it already. Conversations that were once easy now feel heavy. Opinions that once mattered no longer hold weight. People who once demanded your reaction no longer receive it. This is not because you are becoming distant. It is because you are being transformed. Heaven is refining your discernment. You are seeing motives more clearly, sensing atmospheres with new sharpness, and recognizing truth without needing explanations. Silence has become your spiritual X-ray, revealing what noise used to hide. And though it may feel unfamiliar, it is proof that heaven is positioning you for a greater elevation. I know the struggle intimately. There were seasons when God took my voice before He gave me clarity. I remember wanting desperately to defend myself when misunderstood, to correct lies spoken behind my back, to speak truth when my heart felt violated. But every time I reacted emotionally, I delayed what God was building in me. And every time I held my peace, heaven intervened in ways my words never could. Silence revealed who stood with me and who stood near me, only as long as my explanations benefited them. Silence exposed motives I would have otherwise missed. and silence protected blessings that were not ready to be revealed. Chosen one. God is now doing in you what He once did in me. He is stabilizing your spirit for the next level. Elevation comes with exposure, and exposure demands discipline. Not everyone deserves access to your thoughts, your dreams, or the inner construction God is performing on your destiny. This is why people have begun to misunderstand you. They are reacting to your silence because they depended on your noise. They needed your explanations to soothe their insecurities. They relied on your words to maintain their place in your life. But now, by divine instruction, your silence is separating what cannot go with you into the next chapter. Silence is sifting. Silence is selecting. Silence is sanctifying. What you don't realize yet is that this silence is also creating space for a divine financial shift. Heaven never separates the spiritual from the practical. When God matures your inner world, He simultaneously makes room to expand your outer world. A breakthrough is forming not just spiritually, but financially, relationally, and positionally. This next dimension requires secrecy, wisdom, and discretion. Some promotions can be spoken about, but the greatest promotions must be carried in silence until God announces them Himself. Your silence is making you trustworthy to heaven. Your silence is preparing you for prosperity. If you look closely, you will see the evidence. Opportunities are moving into place quietly. People are being repositioned quietly. Doors are forming quietly. You have prayed for breakthrough, but God is teaching you the discipline required to sustain it. Sometimes the miracle is not in what God releases, but in what He stops you from releasing too soon. Silence protects what your prayers have unlocked. Silence guards what God is growing. Silence ensures that what is coming to you arrives intact. This is why the enemy has been provoking you lately. He knows that if he can pull a reaction out of you, he can pull you out of alignment. He knows that if he can provoke your mouth, he can delay your manifestation. But heaven is ahead of him. God is closing your lips, not to restrain your power, but to funnel it. A scattered voice is loud, but a silent, disciplined spirit is unstoppable. Chosen one. You are being prepared for divine promotion, the kind that does not come through effort or validation, but through obedience. This silence is stretching you, shaping you, purifying you. And soon, what God has been forming in secret will be revealed in a way that no one will be able to misunderstand. Your silence will become your testimony. Your silence will become your elevation. Your silence will become the very stage upon which God displays His glory through you. You are not losing your voice. You are learning your authority. And when God releases you to speak again, your voice will carry weight, accuracy, and supernatural impact. Chosen one, as you continue walking through this season of divine quietness, you must understand something profound. Heaven does not waste silence. Silence is not an empty space. It is a sacred chamber where God engineers transitions that cannot be built in moments of noise. When heaven calls you into silence, it is because heaven is crafting something around you and within you that requires stillness, precision, and spiritual sensitivity. This silence is not passive. It is active. It is working for you even when you feel nothing happening. Silence is heaven's blueprint room. In the natural world, planning happens with conversation, but in the spiritual world, planning happens in silence. When God is preparing a chosen one for strategic elevation, He withdraws their voice so He can amplify His own instruction. The things He is whispering now could not be delivered in a louder season. You are hearing differently, you are sensing differently, you are discerning differently. You may feel like you've lost people, lost clarity, or lost momentum, but what you've actually lost is distraction. What you've lost is noise. What you've lost is the old version of yourself that could not carry the weight of the next blessing. Silence is shedding, and chosen one heaven is shedding everything that was attempting to cling to you, everything that would have slowed you, drained you, or diluted what God is preparing to release into your hands. There are blessings that God can give to many, but there are mantles that God gives only to those who have been purified in silence. You are being prepared to carry a mantle of authority, financial elevation, and spiritual influence that cannot be misused, and God is protecting that mantle by disciplining your mouth before He expands your territory. I learned this personally in one of the most painful seasons of my life. I remember a time when God stripped me of every explanation, every defense, every chance to set the record straight. People misunderstood me, misquoted me, created their own narratives, and spoke with confidence about things they never knew. And there I was, begging God for permission to speak, to correct, to clarify. But heaven stayed quiet. And slowly, painfully, beautifully, I realized that the silence was not abandonment. It was surgery. God was removing my dependence on validation. God was cutting away the parts of me that needed to be seen, understood, or applauded. God was healing the wounds in me that reacted out of insecurity rather than assignment. Silence did not shrink me, it strengthened me, and that same divine surgery is happening in you. Chosen one heaven is not just teaching you to be silent. Heaven is teaching you to become unshakable. Because once God finishes this work in you, the version of yourself that emerges will not be easily provoked. You will not be easily manipulated. You will not be easily thrown off course by gossip, criticism, or confusion. Your silence is teaching your spirit to rise above noise. Your silence is teaching your heart to anchor in truth. Your silence is teaching your mind to recognize the difference between spiritual agitation and divine direction. This deep recalibration is necessary because what God is giving you next is sensitive. It is bigger than what you prayed for. It is heavier than what you imagined. And it is more influential than anything you have carried before. Your name is being prepared for a level of visibility you are not ready to speak into yet. Your hands are being prepared for opportunities that require maturity. Your spirit is being prepared for a wealth transfer that requires quiet stewardship, not loud reaction. You may not know this yet, but God is protecting more than your feelings. He is protecting your future influence. He is safeguarding your financial doors. He's shielding your next assignment. Sometimes God closes your mouth because He's opening something else. Your silence is not a shut door. It is the key that unlocks new ones. Chosen one. You have been sensing a strange tension lately, an internal tug of war between wanting to explain yourself and feeling pulled to stay quiet. That is not confusion. That is transformation. You are not being torn apart. You are being rebuilt. You are being disciplined into greatness. You are being positioned for divine movement. Silence is the place where God sharpens the spiritual weapons you will carry into your next season. This is why the enemy has been trying so hard to provoke you. If he can push you into speaking prematurely, he can push you out of alignment. He knows that one emotional outburst can contaminate a blessing. One argument can derail a divine connection. One reactive word can open a door God intended to shut. Hell is not afraid of your warfare. Hell is afraid of your obedience. Hell is afraid of your silence, because silence means strategy. Silence means clarity. Silence means heaven is speaking louder than emotion. Chosen one. Listen closely. Your silence is creating an atmosphere where God can fight battles without your interference. Your silence is allowing heaven to reposition people, opportunities, and pathways around you. Your silence is unlocking favor you could never earn with effort. Your silence is preparing a supernatural shift in your finances, your relationships, and your destiny. This silent season is not small. It is not irrelevant. It is not a pause. It is a spiritual turning point. You may not see the full picture yet, but heaven is at work. And everything God is doing in the quiet will eventually speak so loudly that even your critics will have no choice but to acknowledge it. Chosen one. The silence is sacred. The silence is strategic. And the silence is almost over. Chosen one. There is a moment in every destiny where heaven grows quiet, not because God has withdrawn his presence, but because he is amplifying your perception. When God stops speaking outwardly, it is because he is teaching you to hear inwardly. This is the season you are in now, a sacred stillness, a holy hush, a silence that stretches you until you grow into the person your next assignment requires. Silence has become the space where God is rearranging your internal architecture, strengthening your spiritual foundation, and preparing you for a breakthrough that cannot be birthed through noise. You must understand something deep. Silence purifies the senses. When the voices around you fade, the truth inside you becomes clearer. When the opinions of others no longer shape your identity, God's voice rises above the internal chaos. And when God's voice becomes the anchor of your soul, you are no longer moved by accusations, judgments, or misunderstandings. This is why God has called you into silence right now, because he is shifting your identity from insecure to unshakable, from reactive to discerning, from wounded to wise. Chosen one, don't misunderstand this season. The quiet you're experiencing is not emptiness. It is revelation. It is illumination. It is refinement. The silence you feel around you is actually heaven speaking in a different language, a language that requires calmness, patience, and spiritual maturity to interpret. Heaven is not silent to punish you. Heaven is silent to promote you. Heaven is silent to strengthen you. Heaven is silent to reveal the truth you could not hear while you were busy defending yourself. Many people never graduate into the fullness of their assignment because they refuse to embrace silence. They run from discomfort, seek constant validation, and search for affirmation in noisy places. But you, chosen one, have been called to a different path. God is teaching you to recognize his movement even when he says nothing. He is teaching you to discern his hand even when the environment looks still. He is teaching you to trust his timing even when your emotions crave explanation. This kind of trust is not ordinary trust. It is spiritual maturity. It is the kind of trust that prepares a chosen vessel for supernatural responsibility. You've been sensing this shift for a while. Conversations that once felt comforting now feel draining. Situations that once required your voice now require your silence. You find yourself withdrawing not out of fear, but out of preservation. Something inside you recoils when you try to explain yourself to those who do not carry the capacity to understand you. Your spirit feels resistance when you attempt to justify decisions God himself instructed you to make. This resistance is not random, it is God's protection. Heaven is disconnecting you from people who cannot steward the next level of your life. Chosen one. Silence is God's way of revealing relationships without forcing you to speak. In silence, true loyalty becomes visible. In silence, hidden agendas rise to the surface. In silence, you finally see who supports your spirit and who only tolerated your noise. God does not want you walking into your next season blind. This is why he has quieted you, so he can expose everything around you. And yes, the exposure may hurt. Yes, the truth may sting, but what you are losing in this silent season is nothing compared to what you're about to gain. Heaven removes only what cannot handle the blessing you are stepping into. You are not being abandoned, you are being protected. You are not being punished, you are being prepared. You are not being overlooked, you are being set apart. The silence is sanctifying your destiny. This is why old triggers feel louder lately. This is why certain people are suddenly irritable, confrontational, or demanding explanations that your spirit refuses to give. The enemy is trying to drag you back into emotional warfare because he knows silence is your power right now. If he can provoke you into speaking prematurely, he can interfere with the arrangement heaven is building around you. But you are learning. You are strengthening, you are maturing, you are recognizing the schemes of the enemy without losing your peace. This restraint is not weakness, it is spiritual authority. It is heaven's fingerprint on your character. Chosen one. Silence is also creating space for your next assignment. God often grows a chosen one in hiddenness before revealing them publicly. Quiet seasons precede visible ones. Concealed preparation precedes supernatural promotion. Think of every major moment in Scripture. Elevation followed silence. Glory followed stillness. Breakthrough followed waiting. Even Jesus often withdrew to silent places before stepping into miracles and manifestations. This pattern is now unfolding in your life. Heaven is positioning you for something you cannot yet name, something that requires you to be spiritually sharp, emotionally disciplined, and mentally grounded. The opportunities forming around you need a version of you that no longer reacts impulsively, no longer seeks validation, and no longer wastes energy explaining what God has already approved. Your destiny requires focus, not noise. Your elevation requires discernment, not defense. Your breakthrough requires obedience, not explanation. Silence is the training ground for all three. Chosen one, you are not just entering a new season, you are entering a new dimension. The silence is the bridge between who you were and who you are becoming. As heaven reshapes your spirit, do not resist the quiet. Embrace it. Lean into it, honor it, because the silence that feels uncomfortable today is the silence that will empower you tomorrow. And soon, very soon, this silence will break, not with your voice, but with your victory. Chosen one. As you continue walking through this mysterious corridor of divine silence, something extraordinary is happening around you quietly, invisibly, yet unmistakably. Heaven is constructing a new atmosphere over your life. The silence God has placed on you is not only shaping your spirit, it is shaping your environment. This is the part most people never understand. Before God changes your season, He changes your spiritual climate, and your climate is shifting. You may feel like nothing is moving, but the truth is that everything is moving. Doors are repositioning, people are being reassigned, opportunities are shifting toward you. What once resisted you is now making room for you. What once felt blocked is beginning to open. But because the transformation is sacred, God performs it in silence. Not every miracle is loud. Not every breakthrough announces itself. Some of the greatest shifts heaven ever orchestrates arrive softly, so softly, that only those spiritually awake recognize the magnitude of what is happening. Chosen one. What you are experiencing right now is the hush before the unveiling. And if you pay close attention, you will sense it, the quiet hum of change. It is subtle but powerful. It is gentle but undeniable. It is the feeling you get when your spirit knows something is coming, even if your circumstances have not caught up yet. That inner knowing is not anxiety. It is alignment. Your spirit is detecting what your eyes cannot see yet. God has begun constructing your next season behind the veil. This is why your spirit has been restless in familiar spaces. This is why certain conversations drain you quickly. This is why old environments feel too small. This is why people who once fit comfortably in your life now feel misaligned. You are not outgrowing them in arrogance, you are outgrowing them in assignment. Heaven is expanding you, and expansion always creates tension before it creates clarity. Chosen one. Silence is allowing heaven to stretch you without interruption. I want you to reflect for a moment on the seasons of your life when God elevated you unexpectedly. If you look closely, silence always came before movement. There was always a quiet moment where things felt suspended, where time felt slower, where you felt separated from the noise of the world. It was never coincidence. It was divine pattern. God always stills your environment before He shifts your destiny. This is the season you're in now, the season of divine stillness before supernatural acceleration. Silence is not slowing your life. It is preparing you for speed. Heaven cannot propel you forward until the unnecessary weight falls away. Silence is removing that weight. Silence is stripping away distraction, detaching you from emotional chaos, and rewiring your reflexes for clarity. You are being taught how to move with God, not react to people, and that shift alone is going to change everything. Part of what God is doing right now is strengthening your spiritual hearing. In the next season, your instructions will not come from validation, opinion, or agreement. They will come from discernment. They will come from the whisper of God, and a whisper can only be heard in quiet places. Chosen one. The blessings coming to you require a version of you who can hear God without needing noise, applause, or confirmation. This silence is sharpening your inner sensitivity. You are becoming more aware of God's presence, more alert to spiritual signals, more responsive to divine nudges. You may not realize it yet, but you are becoming increasingly accurate in the spirit. Discernment is rising in you, clarity is rising, inner knowing is rising. All of this is happening because silence is training you, but it's not only your hearing that is being refined. Your strength is growing too. This silence is forcing you to face parts of yourself that stayed hidden behind conversation, busyness, or distraction. You are confronting emotions you never slowed down long enough to feel. You are recognizing patterns you never questioned before. You are seeing truths about yourself and others that noise once disguised. Silence exposes, silence heals, silence transforms. And though the process may feel uncomfortable, it is making you powerful. You are learning to see clearly without explanation. You are learning to choose peace over reaction. You are learning to respond from wisdom instead of emotion. And in doing so, you are becoming unshakable, the version of you God always intended you to become. Chosen one. This silence is not the absence of movement. It is the preparation for movement. And in this preparation, something else is forming: heavenly confidence. Not confidence rooted in pride, but confidence rooted in awareness, the awareness that you are guided, protected, and chosen. The awareness that you do not need to defend yourself because God is defending you. The awareness that your name is being carried to the right places by divine hands, not human opinion. Supernatural confidence is born in silence. It is in this quiet place that you begin to sense your worth differently. You begin to understand that you are not overlooked. You are not forgotten. You are not diminished. You are hidden for protection, hidden for refinement, hidden for revelation, hidden until the right moment. Chosen one. The silence over your life is not closing doors, it is gathering them. And soon, one by one, they will begin to open, revealing the reason heaven quieted you in the first place. You are being positioned for something extraordinary, and silence is simply the first step toward the manifestation. Chosen one. As you continue to journey through this holy silence, you must understand that God is not simply quieting your voice. He is strengthening your capacity. The silence you're walking through is not about restriction, it is about preparation. It is heaven shaping your spirit to handle the weight of the blessings, doors, resources, and responsibilities that are approaching you. You are being prepared not just to receive, but to carry what is coming. There is a difference between breakthrough and stewardship. Many people receive blessings they cannot maintain because their character is not aligned with the weight of the blessing itself. But you, chosen one, are being trained differently. God is not preparing you for a moment. God is preparing you for a mantle of influence, a mantle of spiritual authority, a mantle of divine wealth, and that wealth requires wisdom before it manifests. Silence is heaven's classroom. This silence is teaching you how to move, not emotionally, but spiritually, to respond from revelation, not reaction, to walk with intention rather than impulse. You may feel like you are doing less in the natural, but you are growing more in the spiritual. The quiet is shaping your discernment, sharpening your instincts, and deepening your understanding. God is giving you internal structure, the kind that will allow you to stand when the next level arrives. I need you to look back for a moment, chosen one. Think of the times when God elevated you in small ways. Notice how the pressure increased, the expectations increased, the responsibilities increased. Now imagine that multiplied on a divine scale. The next season of your life will demand a level of discipline, focus, and maturity that silence is preparing you for. Silence is strengthening your core. There's a reason God removes noise from your life before placing weight upon your life. Noise weakens you. It scatters your attention, it dilutes your spiritual hearing, and it drains the energy needed for the assignment ahead. Silence, on the other hand, concentrates your strength. It gathers your spirit. It restores your clarity. It teaches you to recognize God's voice instantly, without needing confirmation from anyone else. Chosen one, heaven is about to trust you with influence. Not the shallow influence of social attention, but divine influence, the ability to speak, move, decide, and shift atmospheres with spiritual precision. Your silence is building the inner authority needed for this next dimension. God is teaching you how to hold yourself in spaces you have never been in before. Silence is the rehearsal for responsibility. Some people think silence means nothing is happening. But you know better now. You can feel the construction inside you. You can sense the strengthening. You can feel God dealing with patterns, emotions, and habits that once controlled you. You may not recognize the fullness of your transformation yet, but heaven recognizes it, which is why the silence continues until the work is complete. This is also why God is showing you people differently in this season. In silence, your spirit sees what your emotions once covered. You recognize the real from the artificial. You sense who drains you, who feeds you, who respects your calling, and who merely tolerates it. You see clearly who is aligned with your elevation and who is threatened by it. Silence has become your filter, the divine mechanism that separates destiny partners from distractions. Chosen one. Silence is removing the voices that could sabotage your blessing once it arrives. It is revealing who cannot be trusted with your dreams, who cannot carry your vulnerability, who cannot celebrate without competing, who cannot support without conditions. God is doing this now because the next season demands purity. The shift that is coming requires you to be surrounded by people who carry oil, not opinions. People who intercede, not interfere. People who build you, not break you. People who grow with you, not resent you. Silence is exposing exactly who those people are. Chosen One Heaven is also training your emotional intelligence in this quiet place. To walk in divine influence, you must be steady, stable, unmoved by gossip, unshaken by criticism, unprovoked by immaturity. Silence is strengthening your emotional resilience. You are learning to remain calm under pressure. You are learning to feel deeply without reacting impulsively. You are learning to stay centered even when others lose control. This emotional strength will be your weapon in the next dimension, because where God is sending you, distractions will be louder, criticism heavier, and spiritual warfare more strategic. But so will your authority, so will your discernment, so will your anointing. Silence is building the version of you that can stand in higher places without collapsing under pressure. Chosen One, this quiet journey is not the ending, it is the equipping. You are being prepared for a divine assignment that will require every ounce of spiritual maturity, every lesson learned, every moment of restraint, and every second of silence. Nothing you are experiencing now is wasted. Not one tear, not one moment of confusion, not one unanswered question. Everything is being woven into the strength you will need for what heaven is about to place in your hands. Chosen One, you are being shaped for greatness, and silence is God's gentle hand molding you into someone unstoppable. Chosen One. This season of silence is not only shaping you internally, it is setting the stage for divine encounters that will redefine the trajectory of your life. When God quiets your world, He is not withdrawing. He is preparing a space where heaven can speak with clarity. You are being led into a quiet place because your next instructions are too specific, too weighty, and too holy to be spoken into a noisy atmosphere. Heaven is positioning you for revelation. Think of how God met Moses, not in a crowd, not in chaos, but in stillness, in solitude, in silence. The burning bush did not appear during noise, it appeared during obedience. And what you are going through right now is your own burning bush moment. A moment where God strips away distractions, not to isolate you, but to elevate your hearing. If your surroundings feel emptier than usual, Chosen One, it is because heaven is clearing the stage for divine strategy. You are not in a void, you are in a holy appointment. And in this silence, God is awakening a level of spiritual perception you could not have accessed before. You will begin noticing things differently, a sudden nudge in your spirit, a knowing that doesn't come from logic, an inner clarity that feels like God whispering direction into your heart. These moments are not coincidences. They are the early signs that heaven is opening your spiritual senses. Silence awakens sensitivity. Chosen One. Your spirit is being trained to pick up divine movement the way a trained ear discerns music. You are beginning to sense when a door is from God and when it is a trap. You are recognizing when a person carries peace and when they carry confusion. You are feeling the difference between what pulls you closer to your destiny and what tries to pull you backward into old cycles. Silence is sharpening your discernment. But there is something deeper happening too, something more intimate and more powerful. As heaven quiets your environment, God is also healing parts of you that you never voiced. Silence is giving space for buried pain to surface, not to overwhelm you, but to be released. In the absence of noise, your soul finally has room to breathe. You are confronting the parts of yourself that were ignored when life was louder. Your emotions are rising not because you're weak, but because you're healing. Silence is therapy for the spirit. You are learning to sit with your feelings without drowning in them. You are learning to face your fears without running away. You are learning to recognize the areas where God is strengthening you from the inside out. And through it all, heaven is patiently guiding you. Every tear that surfaced had a purpose. Every memory that reappeared carried a message. Every moment of heaviness was a form of release. God is using silence to detox your spirit. But silence is not only healing you, it is transforming your identity. In the quiet, God is reminding you who you truly are, beneath the expectations, criticisms, and projections placed on you by others. When the noise of people falls away, the truth of God rises. You begin to see yourself through the eyes of heaven, chosen, valued, anointed, set apart, protected, destined for greatness. Silence is restoring your spiritual posture. Chosen one, you must understand, God reveals identity before he releases destiny. And in this silence, you are rediscovering your worth. You are remembering that your value is not found in what you do, explain, or defend. Your value is found in who you are. Chosen, called, marked, heaven approved. Silence is stripping away the need to perform. It is anchoring you in your true identity, the identity that cannot be shaken by misunderstanding or minimized by criticism. This silent season is also teaching you how to recognize spiritual warfare with clarity. When life is noisy, you mistake people for enemies. But in silence, you see the spirit behind the attack. You begin to understand that the battle was never personal, it was spiritual. The pressure wasn't because you were weak, it was because you were chosen. The conflict wasn't because something was wrong with you, it was because something powerful was coming through you. Silence reveals the real battlefield. With noise removed, you can see the enemy's strategy clearly. You can recognize patterns you once fell for. You can anticipate attacks before they happen. You are learning to respond with spiritual authority instead of emotional reaction. And this discernment will protect everything God is preparing to give you, especially the divine opportunities forming in your next season. Chosen One Heaven is orchestrating divine connections, strategic partnerships, supernatural alignments, and financial doors that require you to be spiritually sharp. These are not ordinary openings. These are life-changing alignments. And God cannot allow you to enter them with the same reflexes, patterns, or vulnerabilities you carried before. Silence is removing what was hazardous to your future. But here is the beautiful part. As silence deepens your spiritual perception, God is also preparing to lift you. Elevation often begins with quietness. Before God reveals you, He refines you. Before God launches you, He grounds you. Before God blesses you publicly, He strengthens you privately. Silence is your private strengthening. You may feel hidden right now, but that hiding is protection. It is preparation. It is positioning. Heaven hides valuable things, not to diminish them, but to preserve them until the right moment. And your right moment is approaching. Chosen One. The silence is temporary, but what it is building in you is eternal. Chosen One, as this journey through divine silence deepens, I need you to recognize something extraordinary. Your silence has not been empty. It has been pregnant, full, holding weight, truth, power, and transformation beneath its still surface. You may have mistaken this season for stagnation, but heaven has been moving in ways your natural eyes could not detect. Every quiet day has been a form of construction. Every silent night has been an act of spiritual formation. You are not who you were when this began. Your silence has been working for you. In these quiet spaces, heaven has been repairing what life tried to break. The wounds no one saw, the disappointments you never expressed, the fears you kept buried, all of it has been meeting the healing power of God in stillness. Silence has allowed your soul to exhale, your spirit to reset, your vision to clear. And because of that, the person rising from this season will not look like the person who entered it. Chosen one. This silence has reshaped your destiny. You see, when God prepares someone for a supernatural leap, He does not begin with their environment. He begins with their internal structure. Before God opens doors, He strengthens the mind that must walk through them. Before God releases opportunities, He fortifies the heart that must carry them. Before God elevates a chosen one, He deepens their foundation, and silence is the tool He uses. This is why you felt moments of confusion, moments where God seemed unusually quiet, moments where you wondered whether you were still on the right path. But the very fact that you're still here, still listening, still sensitive to the voice of heaven, proves something powerful. You have passed tests you didn't know you were taking. The restraint you showed, the reactions you resisted, the conversations you walked away from, the battles you refused to fight. These were not small things. They were signs of spiritual mastery, evidence that you have outgrown old cycles, proof that heaven has matured you for what comes next. Chosen one, you have stepped into spiritual adulthood. And now the silence that once felt heavy is becoming holy. You are no longer afraid of quiet. You no longer panic when God is not speaking loudly. You no longer depend on noise to feel secure. You are learning the language of stillness. You are learning the rhythm of heaven. You are learning the difference between divine pauses and spiritual abandonment, and that knowledge alone is priceless. Because soon, chosen one God is going to speak again, not with a whisper, but with movement. Not with explanation, but with elevation. Not with prediction, but with manifestation. The shift you have been sensing is not imagination, it is confirmation. Your spirit has detected the vibration of something heaven has already released. A blessing formed in silence is about to emerge in clarity. What God has built behind the scenes is preparing to step into the visible realm. This is why the silence has felt intense toward the end, because you are nearing the unveiling. Everything inside you is tightening, focusing, preparing. You are standing at the threshold. The last layer of silence is the final stretch before breakthrough. Heaven always gets quiet before God speaks something life-changing, and He is about to speak over you. The silence is almost over. The doors that were waiting for your maturity are beginning to unlock. The opportunities that needed your discipline are moving into alignment. The territory that belonged to you is opening before you. God did not silence you to shrink you. He silenced you to position you, to make you spiritually sharp, to make you emotionally steady, to make you unshakable before the blessing arrives. When God reveals the reason for this silence, you will not feel forgotten. You will feel chosen. And the testimony that comes out of this season will carry a depth, purity, and authority that only silence could produce. Soon, your life will speak louder than your words ever could. And when people ask how you survived, how you grew, how you remained calm, how you found wisdom, you will simply say, God taught me in the quiet. Chosen one, stay steady, stay watchful, stay surrendered. Your silence has completed its work. Your breakthrough is preparing its entrance. Chosen one. As we arrive at the closing of this sacred moment, let your spirit breathe in what heaven has deposited into you. This silence you've been walking through is not emptiness. It is evidence. It is confirmation. It is the mark that a supernatural transfer has already begun moving in your direction. You are standing in your Kairos moment, the divine intersection where God's timing meets your obedience. Chosen one. Heaven has seen your restraint. Heaven has honored your discipline. Heaven has recorded every moment you chose, peace over reaction, surrender over impulse, trust over explanation. And now may the God who guards your silence release clarity, protection, and breakthrough into every place where you have waited faithfully. I speak over you. Now may your spirit stay aligned, may your discernment stay sharp, and may your heart remain anchored in the presence of God. What is coming toward you is holy. What is opening before you is ordained. What is shifting around you is not random, it is the unfolding of the very promise heaven whispered in the quiet. Chosen one, walk forward with reverence. Walk forward with gratitude. Walk forward knowing that your silence has built the foundation your victory will stand on. And as God prepares to speak again, may your ears be ready, your spirit be steady, and your life be fertile ground for every blessing He sends. If this word touched your spirit, share what God is revealing to you in the comments so this community can stand with you. And if you feel led, remain connected. Heaven is not done speaking to you. Until the next word from God, chosen one, stay silent, stay faithful, and watch your testimony rise.